Today we have my father's Onan KY 4000 generator from his RV. We are working on the governor assembly. It's not moving the throttle. The problem that we were seeing was the engine would start up and it would rev and the governor arm was just barely moving, and we tried to adjust the speed and the stability, and no matter what we did, it would still just over rev. I'm going to share this with you, what I find, because I couldn't find any information out there on YouTube. This is the governor assembly from the Onan KY 4000. This is the one that I just pulled out of my dad's generator, and I see a few problems with it already. So the way this works is this plastic gear rides on the cam gear. The engine spins it so it starts off in full throttle, and as the RPMs build up, the weights fling out, and this pushes out, and it backs the throttle off on that arm that you see moving on the outside. It's not working smoothly. I can feel inside of here, you can probably hear it, wear rings in there where it's just wore out, and I can see how when it's pushing at an angle on that governor arm, how it's not going to work smoothly like you want it to. And also, the gear on the shaft is wore, and I'm replacing this whole assembly. It's not cheap, but I don't want to have to come back in here anytime soon. I want to make a long-term repair. This assembly is about $220. I found was the best price, and I had to wait a little while to get it. It's not available like on Amazon or anything. Also, something else I want to point out here, something to look for. Inside of his engine is immaculate. He keeps his oil changed and everything. No deposits, no dirt, no buildup. But you can look inside of this gear right here, and you can see where my finger is here. You can see metal deposits that are flung in certain places in there, mainly in that one spot. But that's wear from this, and I can show you what the new shaft sounds like. It's way smoother. No rings in there. This is the crankcase cover that I removed to get the governor out, and this is just sitting here, but it was pressed into this hole here, and you can see how it works when it spins. I'll give you a better video on that when I get the new parts put together. This is where it came from. As you look in here, you can see the cam, and that governor rides right here on the side of this cam, and this is the crank here, and this is a balancing shaft, and there we go, you can see better. It came out, it was stuck in the bearing whenever I pulled the cover off, and all you have to do is align these two marks right here. That's how it goes back in. So, and if you look at it, it's the weights are opposite the weights of the crank, so it just makes the engine run smoother. I have assembled the new governor, and it's a bit of a process to get this put together. I wish I would have got on video, but it was, like I said, a process. Basically what I did was I put the shaft through the gear just slightly, put the retainer on there, then put this pusher on here, whatever you call this thing, and then pushed it all together. So and I put some oil. You can see now that it works very nice and smooth. You can see how it would operate the throttle. So right here it's in the full throttle position. As it spins up, it pushes out and decreases throttle. Of course, this all happens way faster. Now I have the governor installed into the crankcase cover. You can see how it works. It's just a press fit, I believe. I just punched the old one out with a center punch, and this one there's no indication, there's no shoulder to know that you have it all the way installed, but I can tell you what I went by was I tapped this with a mallet until this gear, there's no gap between the retainer and how far it's driven. And that's what I did. Also, something to make note of, right here in the end of this pusher, you see a hole. You want to check that on yours, make sure it's not clogged, because if it is clogged, I can see how oil being in there would make suction and not allow this to slide up and down. And also, I imagine that's probably one of the ways that oil gets into it to lubricate. Now we're going to remove this gasket. Here I have a new one. This one doesn't look that bad, but I don't want to have a leak on it. It has a few places that I don't really trust, and this isn't easy to work on. It's not easy to pull it out of the RV, so I just want to do everything right, so I'm replacing it. This is the new crankcase gasket. It's a OEM Cummins part. I have scraped gently the old gasket off of both sides of both the crankcase and the cover. It's cleaner than it looks. I don't like to overdo it. I'm not putting any Permatex or sealant or anything on here. I believe it's plenty smooth, and the OEM guys didn't think it was needed, so I'm not doing it. What will have to happen here, and I'm not going to record it because I'm by myself and I'll be busy with my hands, but this, I will have to spline all of these shafts into their corresponding bearings, and also get this timed right here with the cam. And it's probably gonna be a handful, I'll let you know. Onan put these two very nice dowels, one on top and one down here on bottom, that will hold your gasket in place while you get everything stabbed, and also serve as a guide as you install this cover and you try to align everything. We now have the crankcase cover installed with just 2 bolts snugged in. Something to keep in mind is while you're mashing all these bearings and gears, it's smart to just turn these bolts in with your fingers if you can, while reaching in here and turning the engine back and forth, just to make everything mesh easily. That way you don't get anything in a bind, break a tooth, or bend something, or anything bad. Just got finished installing all the bolts. They're all just finger tight, and I was thinking, I wonder what the order is that I should tighten these. I was going to do just a crisscross, and then I noticed that all of the bolts have a number next to them, and it's not showing up well in this video, but there's a 1 there, a 5, and a 9. Down at the bottom is a 6, a 2, a 3. So those are the order numbers for tightening these down. I'm sure that there's a torque spec, but I'm just going to give everything a nice and snug in order, and then go back over them again and give them a kind of a re-snug. I'm not going to kill anything here because it's all aluminum. While you're in here, take the opportunity to look around for anything that needs to be replaced. This filter isn't stock, this was added on, but it's, you know, just something to look at. While I was looking around, I found that this tube that goes from here to the exhaust is missing. It's probably on the side of the highway somewhere where it blew out. I caught that when I was doing my original triage of the unit, so I have that already on hand to install. So it's time to start it. I've rigged up this this fuel tank that goes straight into the fuel filter, and also this battery here, just through some jumper cables to the frame and to the solenoid, the start solenoid. And I have primed the fuel. And just so you know, this is a remote controlled unit. It's disconnected right here. It's disconnected right here. That's what goes inside to your unit. You don't need that. You can operate it off from here. What I'm looking for here is one, that this thing will start, and two, that this arm will move. It's probably going to not be set at the right frequency because I've been messing with this adjustment and this adjustment here. But if it starts and that moves, I'll know I've done something good. So here we go. So initially I got this to start and run, but it was over speeding because I was messing with this while I was troubleshooting. So now I have everything set back to right, but you have two adjustments here. One is this right here, which just determines how hard the spring is pulling on this arm. So this is your speed adjustment, and you want to adjust that first and get it to about 61, 62 hertz. And then if it's loping, you want to adjust this right here and just adjust it one way or the other until it smooths out. So here's our final product. So here's our final product.